Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your February 2016 general reading. I continue to use the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month. These are general readings, as I always say, so if they don't apply or resonate the same for everyone who watches, I suggest you check your rising and your moon sign as well. A special thank you to those of you who are keeping me so busy with personal readings and continue to. It is an honor and a pleasure to be allowed to read for you, so thank you to those of you who are reaching out for those. And if any of you are interested in personal readings, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more detail and information on myself, the services I offer, and my contact information. And you can email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. And a special thank you as well to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel and give feedback both through email and on my YouTube videos. Your positive comments and support have been so very appreciated by me. Thank you so much for that. So we are in February, and that means Valentine's Day, and this is a month where we tend to focus a little more on love and relationships than most other months. So towards that end, I am offering a few different specials on love readings. So again, if you're interested in that or any other personal readings, please contact me through my email at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com, or you can reach out in the feedback section on YouTube as well. And thank you for your patience in waiting the few days for your readings for those of you who have had to wait a few days for your signs videos to come out. I have successfully just moved, but it has been accompanied with the usual chaos of moving, and that chaos has been focused kind of directly on my schedule. So I wanted to get Taurus out tonight, even though I am pretty tired. And then tomorrow I will focus on the air signs. So again, thank you for your patience for those of you who are still waiting. So let's get right into this reading. This is for Taurus for February 2016. Taurus for February 2016. What does the month of February hold for the bulls, the horned ones? My dependable, grounded, practical, and sometimes stubborn earth sign of bulls. What does February 2016 hold for you? Taurus. February 2016. Okay. So let's begin. In the first week, we have the Four of Pentacles, followed by the Death card. In the second week, we have the Magician, followed by the Page of Pentacles. In the third week, we have the Judgment card, followed by the Four of Swords reversed. And in the fourth week, we have the Eight of Wands reversed and the Three of Pentacles reversed. And as your overall theme and general feeling of the month, I pull a card from the bottom of the deck, and you have the Ace of Cups upright. That's a beautiful crowning card. So let's take a look, Taurus. Okay. This looks like a month of consideration and intensity and some endings as well. So let's get started. We begin with the Four of Pentacles, followed by the Death card, which I prefer to call the Transformation card. Now, the Four of Pentacles is primarily a card about holding on and about being closed off to something. Pentacles, the element is that of earth, and Pentacles is a suit that typically points to things in our tangible, grounded, uh, uh, practical world. Most often, things like money, finances, resources, assets, job, that sort of thing. Things we can touch and see and feel. And you can see that the man in this card is holding on to these four big, beautiful pentacles, holding on very tightly, which is what this card points to, of holding on very tightly and not being willing to share or to open up because if he does, he may lose these pentacles. I see this card sometimes come up for people for whom they felt like they've already lost something or something was taken from them, and they're holding on very tightly to what they see they have left because they're afraid they'll lose what they have left. This can also represent being very closed off and very guarded and not and being unable or unwilling to open up in some way and just of holding on too tightly to something, of clinging to something. Now, Taurus, that card is accompanied by the death card, which I like to call the transformation card because the word death sometimes freaks people out. And this card represents the death of something. It represents the ending of something so that something else can be reborn in its place, which is what follows death. Rebirth always follows death, always. Whenever something burns down or is destroyed, something else takes its place. When a forest burns down, it immediately begins to grow again, and typically more lush and abundant than it did before. And that's what the death card represents. It represents a transformation of something from something old into something new, which means that something in order for something new to happen, something old has to go, something has to die, which is why this is called the death card. And Taurus, I feel like paired with the Four of Pentacles, you enter the month of February, or perhaps it begins, towards the end of January as well. You begin the month of February holding on to something, and it's something that needs to go. It's something that needs to die so that something else can be reborn in its place, something new and something beautiful, so that a transformation can occur. For some of you, and it's going to resonate differently for different Tauruses depending on who's watching and what's going on in your life. Now, this can represent that the thing that you're holding on to very tightly is something connected with your tangible earthly world. It could represent a job, a career path. It could represent an actual something physical, um, like a home or a car or something like that. But the implication being it's something a little deeper than that because the death card is a major arcana card, the fingers of the divine, as I like to call them. So it represents something profound and something significant, but for some reason you're holding on very tightly to it. The transformation process can sometimes be a little uncomfortable, and to let go of something else and to step into the unknown can always, I think, carries a certain amount of fear and trepidation with it. But the combination of this card speaks to, and the advice of this card speaks to that this thing that you're holding on so tightly really needs to go. It needs to die so that something else can be reborn in its place, something beautiful and something new. Something has to end. What I'm feeling is that there needs to be a cutting away of something. For some of you, this is going to resonate as a relationship. And by relationship, it doesn't necessarily have to speak towards a love romantic relationship like that. It can be a relationship. Because of the nature of the cards and the major arcana, it looks to be a relationship that's pretty significant and pretty profound. So it could be perhaps a job or a position that means something to you. This could be the kind of relationship that's a love romantic relationship. It could be a very close friend or a family member, something like that. But there's something that you're holding on to. It could represent a set of ideals or a lifestyle, a way of living, or how you choose to live your life day to day. But whatever it is, Taurus, it's something that looks like it needs to die so something else can be reborn in its place. There needs to be a cutting away of something and an ending, a letting go of something. Now, in the second week, we have another major arcana card of the Magician. And the Magician is accompanied by the Page of Pentacles. Now, the Magician, another major arcana card. The Magician points towards having everything that you need in order to create whatever you want or to make the changes, whatever kind of changes that you want in your world. The magician is a very clever, march to the tune of his own drum kind of individual. Can sometimes be on the spontaneous side. This is somebody who perhaps maybe doesn't always negotiate or work well with others, because when he gets it into his head that he's going to do something, he immediately does it, and he has his own way of doing something. He has his own way of he has his own methods, and somebody tries to come in and show him a different way. He doesn't always agree with that person. But the magician has, through a long path of experience and trial and error and life lessons, has reached a point in his life where he has all the tools he needs to build and create or change anything that he wants to. Not only does he has the tool, but he has the knowledge and experience of how to use those tools in his craft to, again, create whatever he wants to, make changes in whatever he wants to. Um, this speaks towards a Taurus having, and it's directly linked to this thing that you're holding on to, and whatever it is that you're afraid of moving into, the unknown, or you're afraid of this cutting away and ending of something. But the Magician card tells us that you have everything you need in order to do this. You have everything that you need, all the resources that you need, all the experience, all the intuition. Um, intuition, I feel, is a really big one, and you need to trust in that. Now, the Magician is accompanied by the Page of Pentacles. Now, pages can represent actual children or young people in your life, and for some of you, this may resonate as some situation that has to do with a child, although I'm not really picking that up from the rest of the reading. But again, pages also represent messages, as when you think about the role of pages in the medieval world, they were the runners. They were the ones that were most often sent to deliver messages between people. And Pentacles, again, being that grounded, earthly, tangible suit. Uh, for some of you, this is going to resonate as receiving messages or information of some kind about, and again, I'm getting that it's about whatever this thing is that you're holding on to. For those of you for whom it's resonating as a job or career situation, you could be receiving messages or information in terms of perhaps it's the job itself you're holding on to, or a certain situation at work that you're holding on to, or a job position, or even a promotion that you've been hoping for. And for others of you, that this is going to resonate as a relationship that you're holding on to or clinging on to very tightly. It's going to represent, again, something similar, receiving messages and information somehow about it. And this represents, now the Page of Pentacles is in the upright position. So this points towards this actually being news or information, and somehow that brings with it the promise of something. And I say promise or potential or a gift of some kind because it's the page. It's not the knight or the queen or the king. It's the Page of Pentacles, and it represents a certain amount of youthful enthusiasm and excitement to that would often accompany like a young person, or a message being delivered by a young person. And it does imply a certain amount of abundance and prosperity or success. This page is dressed in very luxurious clothes. He's holding this big, beautiful, shiny pentacle. There's a peacock next to him, and I've often seen peacocks as symbols of luxury and kind of decadence that way. Now, this card paired with a magician, Taurus, I feel like, again, it's just echoing this Four of Pentacles and the Death card, and it feels like it's a very strong message from the divine, almost as if God or Spirit or your angels and guides, whatever your spiritual structure is telling you very strongly, even though you find yourself in this place at the beginning of the month where you're holding on to something and you need to let go of it, you need to cut it free. And I feel like there's an understanding and a knowing of that inside of you. You know you need to let go of this thing, but for some reason, you're just holding on to it very tightly. And the divine, the universe is telling you that you have everything within your power in which to create this new situation, this new rebirth. You have everything within you to create this new beginning that holds the promise and the potential of beautiful abundance and prosperity down the road. And it's the Page of Pentacles too, so it's a very grounded, real, tangible sort of thing, even though it's just a page, which implies it's at the beginning stage. It the message is that this thing that you need to cut away, uh, to trust in your own intuition, to trust in your own path of experience as the magician would. This is somebody who has, uh, walked, again, like I said, a long road of experience and trial and error. And not only has he walked a long road of experience, he has learned from the mistakes that he has made. He has elevated to the next level and the next level and the next level. He has not, the person in the Four of Pentacles perhaps would point towards a personality and an individual who has taken painful experiences or losses and used them as an excuse or a way to shut down and to close off and to hold on that much more tightly to what he has left. But the magician speaks of a different sort of path, a different personality. The magician speaks of using those experiences and using some of these painful life lessons that we often go through, um, extracting the good from them and learning what we have to learn and using them to propel us forward into a more successful future and to make better decisions. This coupling of cards is pointing to just that, Taurus, that you have everything with which you need to turn this potential new beginning of prosperity and abundance, whether it's actually in business or finance or job, and turn it into something bigger and more stable, because it already has the promise of that. So that's kind of interesting. Now, in the third week, we have the Judgment card upright, another major arcana card, paired with the Four of Swords in the reverse. Now, the Judgment card again is another major arcana card, and the major arcana cards you have in this reading, Taurus, are pretty profound. You have the Death Transformation card. You have the Magician card, which is a pretty powerful force in and of himself. He's powerful because he has a very grounded sense of who he is and what he's able to do. He knows he can do whatever he wants to do. The Judgment card is, again, another major arcana card, and a very significant, profound one, kind of a higher echo of the Justice card. The Judgment card is a call to action. You can see this angel here, and I always get that it's, some very significant angel, Gabriel or Michael. And he's blowing his horn. He's calling these people to something. It's a call to action. This card speaks to being called. If there ever was a time to stand up for what you believe in, if there ever was a time to stand up for who you are and who the divine intended you to be, now is the time to stand up and be true to who you are, to be authentic to who you are, to what you know to be right and good and authentic. And this card also has a secondary but very strong theme of being very considerate and very thoughtful about the decisions you make as you move forward. Consider the situation carefully, because whatever decision you make, whatever path you choose to take or not to choose, you can choose to keep holding on tightly to this thing that obviously needs to be cut free or let go of. It needs to come to its natural end. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to let it go, to cut it free, and to move into your future, because you have everything you need with which to build on. But the Judgment card speaks of whatever decision you make, whatever action you take, be very thoughtful about it, because it's going to have very significant and profound effects and consequences in your life that will be very difficult, if not impossible, to be reversed. The Judgment card has a real strong air of resolution and finality about it. This says choose wisely, because you're not going to be able to come back from these decisions. They're going to have a profound and significant effect on your life. Now, it's paired with the Four of Swords in the reverse. Now, the suit of swords, the element is that of air, and swords points towards our thoughts, our ways of thinking, our perspective, our ideas, logic, reasoning. It's a very mental and cerebral suit. Swords are also one of the universal symbols of truth. And in the upright position, the Four of Swords speaks of taking a time out, having a reprieve, taking a respite from battle or from a struggle or challenge of some kind. You can see this man is girded for battle, and there's three swords pointing down at him, and his own, the fourth one, is laying very close by his hand should he need it. But for the time being, he's not engaged. He's taking a time out. This card speaks of doing just that, taking a time out from a battle or having finished a battle, and really being in a place where you need rest, you need recuperation. you need to withdraw for a bit and take a time out. However, you got this card in the reverse. So I feel, Taurus, like combined with the Judgment card, I feel like for some of you, I mean, this is going to resonate again a little differently depending on who's watching it, but for some of you, it's going to mean that this decision that you make, and I feel like if it's just a decision to let go and to cut free whatever it is that the cards are pointing towards, you needing to end, to wrap up, it's going to represent an end to the fighting, an end to a battle. And I actually think this is going to resonate for more than half of you, the larger portion of you. It's going to represent a very profound, life-changing sort of decision. When you let go and you move forward, it's going to represent an end to some kind of struggle, some kind of battle, some kind of argument. I feel like for those of you for whom this resonates as a relationship, that you're going to be making the decision to cut free or to walk away from somehow, some kind of relationship with some other person. It's going to represent an end to whatever struggle and strife and conflict and instability there has been between the two of you. It's going to represent an end to feeling exhausted and feeling just this never ending sense of constantly battling and nobody winning. For those of you for whom it may represent as a job or something in your career path, because again, we do have a couple of these we have 3 Pentacles cards. For those of you for whom it represents as a job, it shows that this is going to, again, this is going to represent the end of struggle, the end of a fight, how you choose to act and move forward through this, and cutting this thing loose is going to represent an end to just all the exhaustion that you've been feeling. And just again, I'm getting strife and struggle. Um, and I want to refer back to the Magician and the Page of Pentacles for those of you for whom this resonates as a job or career in some way. If what it is that you're holding on to looks like it needs to be cut away, it's not. The message that I'm getting is that if it's something that you've been holding on to because you're fighting for it, because you feel it's right, it's not saying to give up necessarily. It's just that at some point it looks like you're going to need to cut away some aspect of it. And because it's accompanied by this Page of Pentacles, I almost feel like for some of you it's going to mean taking the best of what you can out of the situation, taking whatever success you've gotten out of it, but still moving on to something else, still cutting yourself free from this job, this place of business, this part of your career path in some way. And again, it looks like there's a certain amount of fear and trepidation about it, of taking what they're offering you and leaving, or taking what you can and leaving, and having a certain amount of fear and trepidation about it. But again, this combination of the Magician and the Page of Pentacles speaks to you're having everything you need to build on your own success, to take what you're going to be taking with you, or to take what you already have and build on that and make it something very beautiful and very prosperous and very abundant. Again, for relationships as well too, for the ending of an old one, so you can put yourself on a path of, of happiness and wholeness and integration as you move forward on your love path into the next chapter. Now, at or towards the end of the month, we have the Eight of Wands reversed with the Three of Pentacles reversed. And again, it's just echoing and echoing and echoing upon the same message, just in different ways. I think that this is going to represent, this cutting away of this job or this relationship, this communication that seems to be so full of struggle and strife and just exhaustion and a never-ending battle. It feels like nobody ever winning. It looks like either you're going to take what you have and leave, or you're going to be offered something and you're going to take that and leave. But it's just going to represent the end. And again, it's relating back to that Judgment card. There's an air of finality and resolution about it. Finality, that this decision that you make, this is going to represent the end of it. It's done. It's over with. The end of the Eight of Wands in the upright position speaks of communication. Wands, the element is that of air and fire, which implies a lot of movement. When you think about fire and air together, it implies a lot of creativity and heat and passion, movement, action, power, change, which is what the Suit of Wands represents. And the Eight of Wands represents communication. And the feeling I always get about this card is that the communication is swift and powerful and profound. and there's a lot of it coming. And in the reverse, Taurus, I feel like, again, this decision, this cutting away that needs to happen, represents an end to this, a very swift final end to this. That's the feeling that I'm getting. This cutting away is a represents or needs to be a final cutting away, an end to contact, an end to communication, an end to compromise and negotiation too, because it's accompanied by the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Now, in the upright position, the Three of Pentacles speaks towards compromise and negotiation and working with a group of people or working with more than one people towards a common goal or on a project together. This speaks of not of personal recognition or being recognized in a set apart kind of way, but this is more focused about the group of working together towards a common goal. And it's, again, compromise and negotiation would be the strongest theme of this card. However, for you, it's in the reverse position, along with this Eight of Wands in the reverse. So Taurus, I feel like at or towards the end of the month, for those of you for whom this resonates, and for those of you who make this decision in spite of your fear, it looks like you have the courage and the faith in your own experience and skills and intuition to cut this thing free. You do it, and you do it stamped in ink. It's done, it's final. It represents an end to communications, an end to the back and forth arguing and strife. It represents an end to, wow, the light really keeps changing kind of oddly in here. It represents an end to compromise and negotiation, and a sense of circular and never-ending compromise and negotiation, struggling where nobody seems to win. It represents a real air of finality about that. And so we come to the crowning card, the umbrella card, the card that represents the general theme and feeling of this situation, which looks to be very kind of intense. I think for those of you who make the decision to cut this thing away, again, whether it's a job, some part of your career path, some kind of significant relationship, it looks to be very profound and something that's going to be very transformative. The feeling I'm getting is that this is really an important and profound time and situation and decision-making process in your life, and it's really going to set the stage. The Judgment card speaks of this setting the stage basically for who you are and your character and what you're willing to stand up for a long time to come, if not forever. But your crowning card is so beautiful, Taurus. You have the Eight of Cups in the upright, which speaks of a new beginnings, new emotional beginnings. Cups, the element is that of water, and cups is a suit that points towards love, relationships, how we relate to each other, our emotional landscape, both inner and outer. And aces representing new beginnings, seeds, the promise of potential of beautiful things to come. And this would be the promise and potential of emotions, of some kind of new emotional beginning. And again, for those of you for whom this resonates as more of a business-focused, finance, career, job sort of situation, it points again right towards that Magician and the Page of Pentacles. Have faith in your own experience and intuition. Have faith in your own life struggles and your own lessons and wisdom from those lessons that you carried with you. Because what's going to be reborn and rebirthed is something that's going to make you very happy, that's going to expand you in an emotional way. This echoes the Death card, something ending and dying so something beautiful can be reborn in its place, and it's a wonderful, happy sort of beginning. And you have everything you need with which to create this, Taurus. And for those of you for whom it resonates as a relationship reading, this relationship that you're cutting away despite whatever the nature of the relationship is, it looks like it's going to represent the end of a lot of things, but primarily struggle and strife and arguments and just the sense of having to compromise and negotiate, perhaps compromise and negotiate too much of who you are and what you stand for. But if you have the strength and courage to do that, what's coming right on its heels is something very beautiful. If it's this relationship that you're leaving, it looks like the opportunity to have something beautiful and to begin to build on something beautiful and very wholesome and healthy and integrated is right there. And again, for those of you for whom this is business and job, whether they make you an offer and you take that and leave, or you take what you have remaining and you leave, it looks like right on its heels is another new beginning, and you have everything you need to build on that. So Taurus, what an intense kind of month. It looks like some very profound and major life-changing decisions and a lot of things to consider, and some endings that look like, of course, no ending, even at its best, endings can be difficult and can represent a certain amount of fear and loss. But it looks like the overall outcome of that is really quite beautiful. And the feeling I get is that this is necessary. This is a necessary step in the next elevation of your growth as a human being, as who you are intended to become. So Taurus, I hope this reading has resonated for you. If it hasn't, again, check your rising and your moon sign as well. And I hope it's at least given you some food for thought and some wisdom and insight and clarity on the path to come. It looks like you have a lot to consider this month, but that it's going to be life-changing and quite transformative. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And if any of you are interested in a personal reading, again, you can click on the About button on my homepage or email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. And until I see you for the mid-month readings, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, Taurus. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.